Keep It Taylor podcast. I'm here live with a beautiful Rachelle, Lady Shell, Forward Magazine, the founder.
So unsure.
Oh, nah, I ain't, because you got like 13 names. When I first heard your name, it was something else. Like as if you ever work with somebody and then add them on Facebook.
Yeah.
That's how your name is.
Okay.
I added you on Facebook and found out it wasn't what I seen on paper at work on your name tag. You know what I'm saying? But she got a dope award show coming up.
I do.
And tell us a little bit about it. Get a little loud for me.
Well, January 25th, it will be the third Ford Entertainment Awards. I did it, the first time I did it was 2011, and it was like the first one, and it was big, and it was exciting. And then I did it again in 2016, and then now this is our third one.
So you took 5 years off?
It's really hard, and I've analyzed that. I've talked to myself. What stops me is the negativity that comes with it. It's like the show, the reasoning behind the show is to celebrate purpose. Like I celebrate artists, I celebrate anybody who uses their talent and their purpose to create a living or to just chase their dreams.
Entrepreneurs.
I love it. Okay. Like I love interviewing people because I love to see what drives them. I love to see them accomplish things. Mm-hmm. I love to live life through others. Mm-hmm. So that's what I want to do with the award show. Okay. So it's not so much like a competition. It's like, let's take turns celebrating each other. Like who captivated me the most this year? Just like I have 4 children, once in a while, one of them might be my favorite because, it doesn't mean I love them any less. Okay. But it's like there's so much negativity that comes with it. People get mad when they're not nominated. They're mad when they don't win, and it gets to be a lot.
Did it make you change up how you do the nominating?
No, it made me just not do it. It just made me not do it.
Because I was saying, like, when I seen, I was like, everybody has their way of doing things, right?
Right.
But like how I would have did it, more like me. I would have just got like a committee and just picked. It was only like 6 people, because I seen that you had a box where somebody can insert a name.
And
I would have been like, nah,
I'm gonna tell you why I
good.
didn't do a committee because I love getting the general consensus. Okay. Because people are different. You're gonna like something that different than me. But it's like, when I open it up to the city, so that's why I've been trying to grow and grow and grow my platform so that I can get more and more and more nominations, so that we can have a wider representation of people. So I can only reach the people who are on my platform and the people who follow me and the people who follow them. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be just a margin of the population. So the more I grow, the more I'll grow into another demographic that will vote more and more. Right. So that's why I keep it at nominations, because I want to know who the city is celebrating right now.
Okay.
If I do a committee, then it becomes like, something else. But I want to do the city nominates, the city votes, and then that's it.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
I want to hear what the city wants.
But sometimes you don't want to hear what them people want. Them people are crazy.
I know, that's why.
Them people are like.
But now, now with this third one, it's a different energy that I'm receiving back from the city. It's more love than negative. Plus, I've done some growing and I'm mature now, and I've got a thicker skin in regards to what I allow to, rock my energy or not. So I'm going to be trying to do it every year. So this year, January 25th is the actual award show. Right. October 1st, I will open the nominations again until the end of November.
You know what? I feel some type of way.
Why?
You know why? Because I ain't been nominated not 1 year, man. I feel like,
okay, so next
hold on. I feel like Lil Wayne, I was they left me in Miami and sleeping on me like I'm rapping in my jammies. I felt like that because I ain't nominated. But then again, I ain't gonna lie, that's my birthday weekend. I'm gonna be in Vegas, so it's like, it would have been hard to I'm happy.
You know what? And a lot of people, and it's like.
And I ain't tripping about that nominated. You
I know.
Good.
But I've gotten that.
People do.
I've gotten that like at least once every day in December. I would run into somebody down the street. They'll roll their window down.
I'm honest to tell you, I think people are insecure with their work and who they are. Because
I don't think that's what it is.
No, I'm telling you because I'm more secure. I know I haven't did certain things, but make what I think is good music. You know what I'm saying? Right. I haven't went on no P. Diddy campaign and posted stuff everywhere around the city. I haven't did a lot so you could see my work. Right. So I don't be just my work would have came from a word of mouth. So I'm not tripping if somebody say like, oh, you know, I ain't know you did music, I ain't heard you talk, because you literally had to stumble across mine. It's not gonna be in your face.
And the thing is, it's like not everybody is going to know of your work. It doesn't take away from your work. Like I'm very secure in regards to the work that I do, my talent, and what I bring to the table. So like you're saying, if I run into someone and they're like, who are you? And I'm like, this is who I am. This is what I do. I do a magazine. And I run into people all the time, and I'm telling them about the magazine that they've never heard of. I don't feel any kind of offended. Like, how did you not know? You know, because it just that's the grind. So I want to measure the grind. I want for people to, whether or not you're telling them to vote or nominate you, I want when somebody say album of the year, I want somebody to go, you know what, I had heard that one album and that was right. You know what, and that's where I wanted to get at. I want to measure the grind. So.
You think some rappers be trying to date you to get nominated? Like if I dated you, like will I?
That wouldn't get you nominated. Let me tell you something.
You know my music, don't like. I mean, why can't I be on the nomination?
You know, a lady never, tells, her personal life.
Right. But I ain't asking
there's people that, I'm saying, there's people that I have linked up with or, intimately or whatever who didn't make the list. And then they've asked me like, I'm like, that was completely.
So like y'all dating, right? And then like you get in the car and he just like turn his CD on like,
I mean, it happens a lot. I'm going a lot of dates and people
do
only
you
play their
automatically
music
think that this person tried to talk to me just because of?
No, I don't think that's what it is. I don't think anybody that I've ever dated has ever come to me because they do music and I work in the music field.
So you would date somebody you would date a rapper?
I wouldn't date a rapper because I know rappers. Like I've worked with rappers for the last 10 years.
So
I know y'all like the back of my hand. Rappers, not y'all. Rappers. So I mean, I would link up with a rapper. I would,
Yeah.
But I wouldn't full on relationship, Mr. and Mrs.
What brought you to music? Because I know like you moved here and you say you didn't know English in high school.
Right. I moved here and I was
a full-blooded Haitian.
Fresh Haitian. I was
fresh Haitian. And then one day you had some ham hocks and fried chicken and changed your life. So what happened?
No, that's not how that went.
So like what happened? Like what got you to me? Because some people, they'll watch like a TV show or something and it teaches them English and they get into like, the next thing you know they're acting. So what happened with you?
Well, I moved here when I was 14 and I had to learn English and learn the culture and I fell in love with hip hop. Like, like you're saying, people would learn English by watching movies. I learned English by watching CNN and the news and stuff like that because I wanted to know like the country's English. I wanted to know how to like the proper English. Well, the country's English, I wouldn't say, because I'm still foreign with slang. A lot of times people say something and I'm like, what that means? So, but I wanted to know the language that would get me paid.
Right.
So that's the English I wanted to speak. So I learned, the CNN, the news. I would read, all kind of books. But I fell in love with hip hop. I think the first hip hop song I heard was like the Lauryn Hill's CD, the whole CD. And I listened. I was like, I love the music here.
Not the
so
listen,
and then I discovered.
Your booty there,
and
boy.
then I discovered Lil' Kim. And I fell in love with Lil' Kim.
Who was the dude that found you after you discovered Lil' Kim? Oh,
and
God.
then I was still a good girl.
I know what they're saying, but you know the music, what it does.
And then I fell in love with Lil' Kim, Eve, Lauryn Hill, like that whole era of women in music, and it's just I love music. Like I have no musical talent, but I love music.
Okay.
And
it's
then
passion for you.
Right, and I've always enjoyed watching the process of music, watching everything else that surrounds music.
Right.
And I was always in love with journalism. I worked in the newspaper at the high school once I learned how to navigate myself.
So you went so you just like leveling up.
Yeah, like when I came here, I was in 8th grade. By the time I was in 9th grade, I spoke enough English to kind of communicate. Like I spent a whole summer just cramming the language.
So why do people like choose to navigate through Fort Myers instead of like chasing another scene? Because most people, they want to be actors. They go to LA, they go to New York. Most people want to do journalism. They go where the scene is. So what keeps you here instead of you going to where the scene is?
I like it here.
I think it's too comfortable.
No, you know what? I'm not against traveling because, I've been doing the magazine for 10 years and I've been trying. It does, definitely. And I do have, markets in different areas. Miami is really big that I work in. Atlanta. I mean, anything's possible.
I'm doing journalism.
But I'm the Joe and I don't know, anybody who really follows the magazine would see that I've just now really in the last couple years really been featuring Fort Myers and really been covering Fort Myers. But what I really did with it, so it's not like a Fort Myers magazine. I really like the city. I like it here, and it's like second home because when I left my country and I came here and I made this my home, and I'm always gonna take care of home.
Right.
So I'm always gonna be in love with the city. I'm always gonna celebrate the city. So
why not go out, get the bigger audience and bring home there? Like for me, when I got plans on maybe moving one day, but if I move, I'm gonna invite.
But I mean, I feel like I do that simultaneously. A couple years ago, I got to do a Nigerian issue, and it was all Nigerian artists, Nigerian models, Nigerian entrepreneurs. I had a Nigerian cover.
Went to Nigeria?
I've never been to Nigeria. But that was what's so beautiful about it, that I had enough of a fan base that I was able to
reach that over there.
Exactly. Right. And I was also able to locate 3 different grocery stores who would carry the magazine if I was to decide to distribute the magazine in Nigeria. So the magazine is not just Fort Myers, but as I'm working different areas, it's like there's not a distinction. Like, okay, we're just going to do Fort Myers now. Everybody's looked up the same. The only thing that I've really, really centered around Fort Myers is the award show, because that's something that I want for our city to experience, because I do feel like the city is on a wave where it's getting ready for expansion and getting ready for the big lights to really shine on it. Right. And I want us to have that. In a couple of years, I've said, my next award show, I'm going to open it to everybody. And then, people have told me no, keep it Fort Myers. It's something that we need for ourselves. Right. And I'm keeping it Fort Myers. So, but the magazine really is I feel like.
I think open it up might make it competitive.
I think opening up
somebody come from Tampa and they music different.
That's true. That's true. But that's definitely the goal. But I want to perfect it here first. Right. I want to the first 5 shows is going to be from here, and then I'm going to open it up to everybody.
Were you inspired by what the Ozone Awards were doing?
Absolutely.
Because I went to the first annual Ozone Awards.
Let me tell you, Julia Beverly is okay. When I decided to do a magazine, I really started studying ozone because I wanted to do something that I was passionate about. Big. So I really started following. We were together at a Core DJs event in Miami, actually, and I sat down, she had a drink, I had a drink, and I actually, picked her brain to hey, and asked her about.
So you did what's right.
Of course, you gotta go to the ones who've done it to say, hey, how do you do it? Let me get
That's
some tips.
That's how you advance anywhere.
And then I also started working closely with Chaos from Grind Mode. They did one cover for me, and then Chaos was also doing Grind Mode magazine in Miami. So I became close with Chaos because I really wanted for him to teach me what he knew about the game. So and it's like this industry, the more you grow into it, it's so easy to network. Networking is not hard at all because we all have the same passion, we all have the same challenges, the same understanding. So it's easy to link up with somebody who is doing what you're doing or is doing it on a bigger platform to say, yo bro, teach me what you know.
So how do you, because cities have had their wave, right? Mm-hmm. Tallahassee got T-Pain, Jacksonville had Young Cash or just other artists Jacksonville they got a scene too, Young AC. They got a little scene. Orlando, I think they got this guy KT. He's doing pretty good. Tampa Tony, we got what's the other kid from Tampa that he raps over everybody. Tom G.
That's what I was gonna say.
Sarasota. It's Sarasota. I don't know who they got on.
I don't know who they got.
Shout out Sarasota though, 941. They're cool.
I definitely gotta go visit the next
Miami has had
so I need to find out because I can't think of it.
I bet they got somebody. I bet they do because it's Florida. Miami got their wave, right? Why hasn't? Because I feel like all of those cities that I just named, Fort Myers can go to either city and people Fort Myers has that allure. People, they love Fort Myers artists and, so why hasn't Fort Myers been able to get the wave? We got the artists because we have Plies, but then it's like, you know, we have Frank Lenny.
What do you feel like they're missing or what's the wave? What are they missing?
Like, they're missing like consistent like artists coming from up under the umbrella. Like Frank Lenny is like, he went up and like ate the underground scene, the Chitlin Circle, whatever they call it. And he was grinding and did songs with Rick Ross, and you know, so I feel like anytime a little spark comes to a Fort Myers artist or whatever, it turns into a flame, you know, because of what they have. And when I look at the culture, a lot of these swags come from Fort Myers.
But I think I don't think the issue is the talent. I don't think the issue is the artist. I don't think the issue is the people. I don't think the issue is even the consistency. I think the issue is opportunities in the city to create a wave.
Okay.
I feel like even if, you know, every little bit that you can only go as far as that box allows you to.
Okay.
And I feel like, you know, the powers that be, you know, that kind of run things how they want to run things, stops a lot of the growth in regards to that particular demographic. Okay. And I've interviewed the mayor before, and I've asked him, what does the city have against hip hop? And he said, no, we don't have anything against hip hop. And you know, he gave me
that was the political answer.
Right, he gave me without, you know.
You felt like he was being truthful.
I mean, it was his answer was his answer. I can't gauge anybody's truthfulness. I can't speak on that.
I think it's,
but it was a question that I had because I think it's an important question because I think the talent is being stifled by policies.
Because I do remember, I mean, having a lot of hip hop like open mic nights and stuff to go to where it's like.
But then what venues do we have? It is the people before anybody's
the people do not come.
No, it's not that. It's not that as far as like events and venues, you know.
The people mess it up. Yeah.
The people do mess it up, but it's not just the people. And it's not just the people. It's just whatever happens, they take that as, see, we told y'all can't have nothing, and shuts it down.
Yeah. It's like they'll say, it's like your parents will say, well, you do that, but then as soon as you do it, and
that's it. You know what I'm saying? It's like I feel like certain venues, if there's a venue that is centered to doing open mics or to doing events that celebrates hip hop or provides opportunities for artists to perform, and you know, the second something happens, they're like, oh, see, no, y'all don't know how to act. But if it happens at a different venue with a different target market with a different sound, and something happens, it's like a slap on the wrist, like don't do that again.
Or like say what happened in Cape Coral at what the spot is in Cape Coral, Dixie's, and they had gangs and whatever they had, and you know Dixie's is still open, or whenever they did try to close it down under restriction, they then turned around and say, hey, you know, they fought against it and they got it appealed and, you know, appealed and won, and you know, but if it was Club Neptune,
like, I'm not gonna say it doesn't happen to everybody. I'm pretty sure club owners, they all face some kind of, because you're gonna face challenges. But I do feel like when a spot is labeled hip hop and it starts giving the opportunity for a certain crowd or a certain demographic, they find more ways to shut it down. Like I remember when the city was going hard in regards to Fly. It got to a point where like there was a fight at 7-Eleven across the street, and the headline said, "Fight happens from Fly." It's
when
like,
people came, they say that way. It happened that way, but
you know,
it was connected like a piece.
Was literally across.
It was vertical, so it happened over there.
Way over there. It had nothing to do with Fly, but the headlines were like, "Fights happen at da da da," and then when you open it, you're like, "Oh, it happened at 7-Eleven. That's nowhere near them." But it's like I feel like they were targeted a lot of stuff that they went through was unnecessary. I've witnessed, you know, being part of that industry, you know some insiders, and it's like them boys, they weren't being dealt fairly with. So I'm just gonna put it that way. So I feel like they put more of an effort to shut down what's meant for us than they do others, whereas they give others opportunities to fix themselves. They tell them exactly, okay, this is A, B, C, D, what we need you to do, and then do that. So it's like, I don't think the wave is not being, that's why when the Fort Myers artists go to Miami or go to Jacksonville, they take over with their swag and their style and their music, because, so that tells you it's not the wave that they don't have, it's not the spark that they don't have, it's they don't have the right opportunities, the right platforms.
So somebody like just wanted to see what Fort Myers is about, right? So they're like, now, you know, I heard, you know, Fort Myers this, that, or whatever, so I want to come check it out. So let's say like this is somebody like music scene that can help you out, expand. What exactly would be like a thing that you would tell them that they had to do? Like the venue. Do you feel like we're missing that venue? Like Flowers the venue that people could come from out of town and come through and see the culture.
We're missing it.
Because you ain't gonna get that at shout out to Skyball whoever own it. I love your spot. But you're not gonna get that when you come.
You're not. That's not the whole and it's like that's an exact perfect question because I've had people from the industry hit me up like, hey, they're trying to do things that they're doing over there. Mm-hmm. They're like, hey, you know what? I'm doing such and such and such in Atlanta and I just want to bring it to your city, da da da. And it's like, in my mind, I'm already thinking, I wouldn't even know what venue to get you. I wouldn't even, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's hard. Right. So it's like, we don't have the opportunity. That's what. But I feel like, more and more people are being made aware of the opportunities that they don't have or what they can create. And there's still ways and avenues that you can take. So since we can't have, these huge award shows that, presents here, we can have our own. And then. I'm finna switch it up a little bit. So how is your DM nowadays? My DM is the same. No, my DM has remained the same. You know what? I've had an influx of exes resurfacing. Like I've had
it's that future picture meme when he's like down typing this.
I've been featured. I've been being featured a lot. Shout out to my exes, you know what I'm saying? But I've had.
Do you think it's the problem because then they don't see you with nobody, so then they try to fly back in?
No, I don't think that's what it is. I think, and I was actually telling somebody this the other day. Like my exes and I, except for my kid's father. Like we straight, we cool. One or two. My kid's father, and there's maybe one who can't stand me still. But we're cool. We're on good terms. Like I can't think of any of them that I don't consider a friend. Right. Because I feel like when you're with somebody and they're your friends, we're best friends before we're in a relationship. Right. So if you're best friends with somebody and you got love for that person, genuine love, it doesn't go away. Right. So you're gonna get to that window where you can't stand each other because that's the pain. You're like functioning from that like level of anger and pride and ego. Like I hate you right now, but then when time goes by and you've learned to forgive them, you go back to that love that you originally had for them and y'all friends. So now you know what lines not to cross, and you kind of like, okay, all right, this is where the gate is to not go over there. But
how you gonna feel about the day you find out, like, because we talked off camera about your son, he's still a virgin. And you got these rules with your kids. Tell the people the rules that you have, because I found it's not rules, but I'm saying like the society,
I feel like I have 4 children.
What it's called? You called it a name. Like he can't lie to you. You ask him.
Oh, carte blanche, which translates to.
I've never heard of that.
Carte blanche means white card. It's something that you do like. Even when I was married,
they can't get in trouble.
Right. Even when I was married, we would have conversations where we would have carte blanche. Like I just want honesty, because to me, I feel like knowing the full truth, I can really then get a good evaluation of who you are. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
if I tell you like if we married and I'd be like, yeah, I flirted with Shawty,
it's carte blanche.
So
it's like
it's a clean slate as long as I can deal with you doing it too.
No. It doesn't work like that, because then you're tit for tat, and then it's like,
so you're not a tit for tat.
I'm definitely.
But are you a forgiver?
I am a forgiver.
So how you gonna feel the day that your son do tell you that he ain't a virgin no more? Because women, I never asked my mom.
Well, that day he'll be in college and being an adult, and he can do what he wants. That ain't got nothing to do with me no more.
Get that swag surf, he gonna surf somewhere. I'm telling you.
He can't surf for another 2 years, so.
So you told him this?
No, he knows. Okay. I don't think I've ever told my son you're not allowed to have sex.
Right.
But what I have told my son.
You think your son is like a name that, like, not bad a name, but like a.
No, my son's very green. I know that.
That's so.
He's very green. He's very green. He plays sports. He's kind of like one of. He's green, but he's one of the cool kids.
Is he a good sports player?
He is.
He's gonna get some sex.
He's not going to.
He got to get a varsity level.
Okay, so. No, he's green. He's green because I'm green. Like, like I'm very naive to the world. How, you can tell me the sky is red and I'll be like, okay. and I'm not gonna double check it until
it's like. You gonna look up at your dread and be like, it is red.
I'm very naive. Like I'm very book smart, but I'm not as street smart as I should be.
Because you're not, but it would be kind of hard for you to be street smart if you're not from the streets.
That's true.
You know
That's very true.
You're not from the streets.
But I mean, I'm
from the environment you're born with it. It's like an instinct that you're born with.
That's true. But I'm very surprising that people won't really guess about me is I'm very airheadish. But I think it's because I don't know how to put it. It's like a thin line between genius and insanity, right? That's who said that? Was it Einstein who said that?
Maybe so. I don't.
It's a thin.
I don't know anything
Einstein.
from those philosophers.
He said it's a thin line between genius and insanity, and it's 1,000% sure. Like I feel like when it comes to like I'm good at researching. There's nothing that I can't figure out. There's nothing that I can't teach myself how to do. Like I can do all things through YouTube who powers me. So it's a verse somewhere in a book.
The book of Rachelle, chapter lady, 316.
For real. But I feel like I'm very smart, but I'm also that same girl who would, who when it comes to certain things, I'm like, oh my gosh, what is this?
But really happened.
Yeah, I'm that girl. So it's a very thin line.
You think you're gonna take it? Be cool with your son, like if he.
I would, because I feel like that's a decision that he would have made for himself at that moment, and I would respect that.
Like, did you use a condom? Is that the first question?
No, because he knows that. He knows all that. I'm the type, especially now that he's 16. I feel like I have taught my son what he needs to know. I feel like I'm still here to guide him as his mother, but as I'm navigating him from a 16-year-old to which he's a young man now, I'm giving him more leeway. Like right now, we're kind of going through something where I felt very disrespected by him, and he left his phone in the car. And at first, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna ground him and hold his phone for the next 2 months or whatever."
Because, you can't do that.
But then I went to him and I told him, no, it wasn't even that. I took him his phone and I said, "Listen, I'm not gonna ground you. I'm not gonna hold your phone because then that would be me punishing you for disrespecting me. I'm not on the punishing part. I want you to understand how I feel and what made it so disrespectful. Because that's not the person that I need you to be. That's not the person I raised you to be. So I need you to think. I need him to start thinking and making his own decisions. So if he ever came to a time where he felt like he was adult enough, because I told him the consequences of having sex. Like if you were to choose to have sex and then now this chick is pregnant, you should have known that's what was gonna happen.
I ain't gonna lie, like I had a parent, my mom.
I just wanted to bring a baby home too early. I was 20.
Okay, so you still know.
He's 16. I'm 36.
My mom was 14.
Okay.
So, and I was in the 7th grade. I had me a little action, you know what I'm saying? Like the rector's cut, you know what I mean? But I think my thing was like I knew consequences with things, so my mom like put it in my head. She don't want no kids, like she don't want to be a grandmother.
That's what
I waited until I was 21, 22, but my mama was like 36 at the time, so it's still, you're still young. But
that's true.
I was like, I ain't waiting forever. I got this little thing going help me to go ahead and make this happen.
And it's like, and I've had that conversation with my son before. I've asked him before, and I ask him like periodically. I'll be like, hey, are you still a virgin? And he'll tell me yes or no. And I'll tell him, would you tell me? He's like, yeah, I would tell you if you asked. Right. Because I've put it where this is one of those topics that's a carte blanche with him. That it's not something that you would get in trouble for. It's just something that I'm asking you because I want to know. Because I want to know how to better guide you. So now if I say, are you a virgin? You say no. Then I'm going to be really more like, okay, you need to protect yourself. I'm not going to be like, how dare you? Put it back in. No. Like, like put it away. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to punish him. I'm just going to be like, okay, so now you need to protect yourself at all times. You need to You need to understand that if you bring a baby home, it's on you. You got to figure it out. So it's just it's one of those subjects.
I was kind of 10 because like I'm an Aquarius. What are you?
I'm a Gemini. 6'6".
Sage
Gemini.
Listen, can a person ever play something in the car that's gonna make you not wanna? Like, what the hell they listening to? Like, if you get in the car and somebody listening to R. Kelly, you gonna feel some type of way?
No, I mean...
Because everybody trying to cancel the kids. So.
Listen, R. Kelly is canceled. R. Kelly, the person is canceled.
When you get in my car, we listening to the Honey Love.
Because here's the thing that I feel like we do to our own people that a lot of other people don't do to their people.
They don't. They defend them.
We shop blindly. We blindly shop. We buy name brands. We whatever. We never dig into like who's that person. What do they believe in? What do they do? Right. But when it's our own people, we hold their sins. We tie it all together. And it's like a lot of times you got to separate the two. You got to separate the talent from the actual person, because the talent is a talent. The talent is God-given. That's nothing that is them. That's nothing that they created themselves. That's something that was a gift, a purpose. So I'm going to enjoy the creativity. I'm going to enjoy the work. There's so many artists that I love that I don't even know what they look like. And I think last month was the first time I saw what Lupe Fiasco looked like.
You never knew what Lupe?
I didn't know what he looked like. I could have ran into him in the street and I wouldn't have known. But I love his work.
That's crazy.
I'm just weird. I'm a weirdo.
So nobody can ever play something that's a turn off with you. So you
heavy metal. I don't like heavy metal. That's about it. But so I like.
You gonna date a white one?
I'm not attracted to white boys, so I wouldn't say I would. But I mean.
You ain't never seen a white buddy you was like.
Eminem was kind of, you know. I mean, I see them.
His palms was sweaty. You liked him?
No, listen. I don't know. Just because I'm attracted to them, or they're like, ooh, you look kind of. But me, when I look at people, it's more so, can I intertwine my life with yours?
And don't take this no type of way, but because I've seen like.
I look like I did white boys?
No, like you look like you were fit with one. Like, you know, they always a date. When they date, like the queens is always be like the opposite of, you know what
kind of guys do I look like I like?
The opposite of who you are.
Which is?
Rough. Like little rough dudes.
Okay, next question. No, so, I like manly men. You know, I like dominant men because, you know.
But you don't always end up with them though.
I really don't, because I feel like I don't know. I haven't really found
you yet. That's that inner you in that way.
No, I haven't found someone yet who knew how to just be the person.
You want somebody to open the door for you and then still tell you to shut up, right? At the end of the day?
Something like that.
Yeah, okay. Hold the door, like just slam the door in a generous, nice man way.
I think I've dated some amazing people. I've got, like, you know, I've ran into some great men and I think, but our lives are not always compatible, because I work a lot. That plays an issue because my work and my children come first.
They can come out there and bring you some donuts.
Also, I'm a Gemini, so that means that one day I love you, the next day I'm like, oh my gosh, get out of my face.
I just think that's so attractive in a way. Like, hate me tomorrow. Like,
I don't know. Well, I don't know why my DMs are dry, so I don't know.
The DMs are dry?
They really are.
Because you're a worker, you probably don't.
But then again, I don't.
In order to give it the going, you have to post the pictures and do all of.
I mean, I do all that. I think it's because I'm not out there looking. And then when somebody approaches me, if anybody holds a conversation with me, I automatically think work. So I'm always in work mode. So I'll run into a guy at the grocery store and they're like, hey, what's your name? Hey, I'm Rachelle Ford, and I do a magazine. And somehow it turns into, like, he'll follow me on Instagram, he'll follow the magazine page, or he'll at least know what I do.
So you'll throw a pitch and he won't hit it?
No.
He'll just look at it like, oh, that was a good pitch.
No, I always go into work mode. And then it turns out that they do something
so your transition isn't...
It's always work mode. It's always work mode. So it's like, so when people jump in my inbox, if a guy jumps in my inbox and he's like, hey, how you doing? I automatically like, hey, how you doing? What can I help you with? Yeah. I always go there. And then, you know, and they always, I don't know. Even when it goes personal, somehow it goes into business, and then it's still, I don't know how to separate the two.
Separation.
I need somebody who's just gonna be like, hey, we not working today.
You butterfly. It's time for you to
but I'm not a social butterfly.
I mean, in a way you are, because you.
My work makes me social.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
But personally,
but if you're going into work with people, that means you're actually going into your social side. That's what happened, because you're shutting down. Like, they see one side of you, and then on the other side it's like.
No, I think I don't know. I'll be sure to ask my exes.
This ain't a damn psychology meeting, but.
Speaking of dating shows, good segue actually. I do have a dating reality show that's coming up. Not for me, but I'm gonna have one guest. Right now I have Tim West, who's gonna be my bachelor. We're gonna take 6 women, and he's gonna choose one of them to win a 3-day cruise to the Bahamas. So we start filming in February, and I'm really, really excited. So I don't know, maybe playing matchmaker, I'll kind of figure out what's going on wrong in my life, and maybe I'll find myself.
I actually thought about going there too, like a dating.
I think it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
So any question you want to ask me before we get off? I ask you everything. I talk to you about everything.
I don't know. Like, let me see. What made you want to do a podcast? Like, why this format?
You know, just being honest, I always was doing music since I was like 5 years old, right? then I had them parents, they didn't want me to do it. So they just tried to like force my path. So I shut down on them for like a couple years. It just was in the lab, just music. But then I never really fully chased music the way that I was supposed to. I think the hold me back part, I never could break about it being held back. Because then it's like I always get in a relationship and it's like, we want to rap, and then it's like, there we go again.
That's
then
true.
I wouldn't leave and I'd stay and deal
with. So do you
with.
feel like you got like one foot in, one foot out?
Nah, because like I really would want to, you know, if I moved to the point where I was like, I'd just be a writer because I got kids now that I don't really want to be this person that's busy 7 days a week, like on the road 7 days a week. If I got to do it 2 months out of the year, cool, but I still got kids I want to have time for. So I was like, being that I make a lot of people laugh a lot, I was like, man, you know, I can do a podcast and basically cover topics and make people laugh, and then I'm laughing. It's therapeutic for me, pretty much. So, and then I'm always been intrigued with like interviews. Like I bought like from 2002 or whatever, I used to buy all the rap magazines, the Vibes, the Ozone,
Not the Fords.
The XL, yes. What you mean? I probably got like 6 of your magazines and stuff tucked away. Yes, I do support you, by the way. But it's hard too, like, cause I think you was probably setting up shop in different spots from where I go.
Yeah.
So.
Because I mainly.
And I was online.
I focused it. Yeah, I focused it outside the area.
Trust me, if it's an interview, I'm on it. Cause that's how I am. Even on YouTube, when I watch it, I say, man, I love that. It's, you know, anything that's passion driven with me, I'm gonna chase it. I'm not gonna look at a bag about it. Like, it's cool, I get bags other ways, but with this, it's like strictly, I can say, if I can go into this and not have a standard income wise, but have a standard, you know, passion wise, like I watch a lot of my work and then I figure out what I can get better at. So that's what kind of made me get into it, stepping away from the rap and want to be me more. Cause even with my music, people would be like, well, this ain't really, like, they judge my character. You know what I mean? So I was like, man, well, I could write the songs for the people and still can, you know, be me.
That's true.
So so now I'm a songwriter, and then now I can just go on my podcast and be me. So this was a platform for me to be me, and then everybody.
Yeah, that's why I think with the magazine I've done the same thing. It's like I love, like I'm passionate about what I do, and I've always said, even if I make an issue that nobody on the planet reads, I'm still gonna look at it and be proud, because you know, it's like, I don't know, it's like I drop a mixtape every month.
Right.
You know,
that's how I look at it. I drop the song every week.
So it's like,
every
so I love it. I personally love it. So I don't know, but I love being able to sit down, and I don't do that a lot. I'm always interviewing. I don't always open up. So it's really like, thank you for inviting me and, you know, getting a glimpse. And I'm pretty sure like I'm gonna sweat this whole interview.
Did you know I was coming?
No, I didn't.
See, that's why I laughed. When I seen you walk through the door, I said, look at her, I'm surprised her. Boo. Because we do got a close friend, shout out First Lady Nikki. That's how I met Rachelle, but I haven't seen her since like an Easter event, because be honest with you, I probably haven't been on MLK in probably 2 years.
I hide a lot. Listen, I'm always working. Yeah. Like, people see me out a lot, but I'm not as out as people think. Right. Because I'm always like, I'm very, somebody asked today on Twitter, like, how long would you stay inside if you had all your food, all Wi-Fi, all electricity? I would stay forever. You would never see me out.
I mean, it's easy to do that now too, because you got a lot of services that's gonna bring it to you.
Bring it to you. You don't even gotta leave. Like, I would stay 48 hours in my office and not do nothing and just work and have all my food brought. You know, it's like, I don't know.
So you know, anything you need from now on, you can just, I got you. Yeah, you can hit my line, because I'll be off. Like, I delete the Facebook app and then I come back. So, you know, so the best way to contact me is to contact me.
Okay.
So,
same.
Yeah, for sure. So, Lady Shell, Camou Taylor, check out Keep It Taylor podcast, dropping every Monday, and then I do interviews in between. That usually drop on Thursdays. So check out the Ford Magazine Awards. Yes. Check out the Ford Magazine. It drops every month.
Yes. And we're working on the January issue right now. FordENTMag.com. You can get information on the magazine, as well as the award show, as well as our upcoming reality show called Vacation. So
Vacation, January 25th award show though. Hey.